Well, hey there everyone, I'm Kaye here in Tennessee. Welcome back to my channel. Well, it's raining gently at the moment. You've seen a lot of rain on my channel and we have 6 more days to go. I was hoping for a break in the rain today so we could do a garden update. And that is going to now happen in the rain. So I'm going to go get a raincoat and we're going to take a walk around. I'm going to focus today on just basically progress, things that have we've managed to do, and also some things that are completely out of control. So stay with me. And if you are new here, I hope you subscribe. I cover gardening first of all, food preservation, prepping, just all the things that you can do on a homestead, except I don't have livestock. So if that interests you, I hope you will subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, scroll down and click all. Now let me get my coat and we'll take a walk around. This is the new memorial garden, and I'll just point out that this wound up being lower here so it is collecting water and we're going to have to remedy that. I still haven't decided on the ground cover, how I'm going to do that. We think we have eliminated most, or if not all, of the poison ivy vines. So moving forward slowly on this. The new rose for my sister is leafing out, trying to catch up with my mother's rose on the other side. Spent a lot of time with ditches back here trying to divert water off of the side garden to your left. Most of it has been. There hasn't been huge runoff, even though it still is a slope, this garden, called my side garden. Let's take a closer look. So our plan is to widen this trench here, bank it up on the left and widen it on the right. And hopefully that will help. Until we figure it out, I moved some sandbags here, but I really don't think that's where the water's coming from, because even after I moved it, the water is still pooling up right there. So there will be a handmade gate here. The water is going to get diverted somehow soon. That is the butternut, mostly butternut. You see those 3 trellises over there, the green? That is going to be where the trombacino grows. And then of course you can see the beans. They did great, and this is where the corn is laid out. I'm going to take that off, you know, when it sprouts. And then this is the new trellis. This is just a nylon, 6-inch square nylon trellis that we hung on conduit rods and 3 T-posts. And I think there's 6, yeah, total of 6 plants down. Well, there's 6 plants, some have doubles. And then there will be more weed cloth around here as soon as it stops raining. I'm going to give you a pan shot of, that's the lower garden down there. There are Leyland cypress along the road, and cannas, and my elderberry patch, my meadow, my heirloom apple trees, willow, and here is my flower garden, which is out of control. Those are my terraces. Those are the blueberries and potatoes and mulberry tree covered up in netting from the birds. And far over there are the grapevines back there. Okay, here's the lower garden. I've got rattlesnake pole beans growing on that cattle panel, and those are all cabbages covered, and broccoli, etc. Various brassicas covered. Down there there were 35 tomato plants. I don't know if there still are. There's a lot of weeds. There's borage, big borage plants on the end of 2 rows. Petra basil, that's a purple basil. This is my arched trellis, and that volunteer sunflower growing up through the middle is at least 12 feet tall, maybe 13. And I've got some other volunteers. This is mostly what I did today. My okra I've had trouble with. I had to reset it, and some of it is still wilted. So I don't know if it's gonna recover. I hope it will. It looks like everything that I reset is wilted. Not surprising, but the rain should have picked things up. But what happened is so much rain came after I planted, and the seeds all wound up together, and okra gets big and they can't have 5 or 6 plants together. Over there are the peppers, which are doing pretty well. We tilled in between the rows today. I just got to get in here and pull the weeds in between the plants. And down here I've got yellow squash looking good. And I was going to share this. This is a hack that I saw online for warding off squash borers. Supposedly the smell of the mothballs in the modified plastic water jugs deter them, and I'm hoping it works. I have 2 of them, and I have basically 4 plants right now, 4 hills. I don't know what happened there. Not sure. The 3 Sisters corn had to be all reset. It was just unreal. I came down and there were like 8 in one and 1 or 2 in another, and some were big, some were tiny. And so I just moved things around, and I'm hoping for the best. Probably in about a week I will plant the beans in there, and then the squash. Over here I have cucumbers and tomatoes, and there's a few onions hidden under there somewhere. Over here, watermelon. Now this great idea I had that worked so hard to accomplish what they said of covering up the plants so that the bugs don't get them. Well, guess what? If you don't cover up every square inch, you're going to have weeds. This thing was so full of weeds. We pulled back the white netting, and it was just covered. It literally took all morning. It looked kind of like that. That hasn't been done yet. That's what happens in Tennessee. Elderberries are looking awesome. This is the best year yet, and I think it really helped to have them inside the fishing line enclosure. I tried to create a permaculture guild here with comfrey about 3 feet away from the base of each tree, and in between the trees aronia berry bushes, but you just can't keep the deer from eating them, so that's not gonna work out. I will give you a better look at this sunflower on a nicer day, but that is a purple sunflower right there, and I shared a picture of the bloom on my posts page today, so check it out. This broccoli, I think most of it is broccoli actually, looks really good, although it's poking up, and I need to take all of this fabric, put it on one side, and put another row on this side so it has more room to expand, because now what's happening is there are gaps here and bugs could get in there. The tomatoes, I just haven't had time. Lots been going on if you've been following my journey recently. And so they're kind of falling down. I did tie them up one day, all of these, and haven't been back at it. There are beans growing down the middle of the rows, and then of course grass and weeds growing through the hay. These are all sunflowers. There are too many. I need to thin them out. Sometimes you can reset them, but something tells me that won't work in this case. So this is the opposite side of the arched trellis and the at least 12-foot sunflower. Below that, growing at the bottom, they are cucumbers, and also Christmas limas are in there somewhere. Kind of mixed things up this year. These sunflowers were all planted on this end, but many of these down here were volunteers. I wish you could see this in the sun. It's just stunning. This is called an insectiary when you plant a whole side of your garden in flowers to attract pollinators. Unfortunately, it's so dense that I've got Johnson grass and all these weeds coming up. This is a question I have for everybody. This is touch-me-not, which is in the jewel weed family. Does that look what you're thinking of when you talk about the antidote for poison ivy? Because I would love to know. I planted those. It's not wild. I've never seen it growing wild here. This is the back side of that very strange sunflower, which I planted on purpose. And I thought it was a whole pack of them, so I don't know. I guess some of them haven't bloomed yet, so I don't know. But as you can see, this is blue spice basil. This is a volunteer that comes back. I intentionally planted it 3 or 4 years ago, and it's always here. So here you can see tomatoes and cucumbers are laying on the weed fabric. A lot of work to be done. Wow, it's hard to see, but there is a beautiful red onion in there. Can't wait. This is cosmos. I love the fact that the cosmos blooms later because, you know, you've got this huge show of zinnias first, then sunflowers, and it's nice to have something following up the zinnias. Although the zinnias are amazing. They'll just keep blooming for like 2 months, 3 months. But it'll be pretty when these pop open. And I've got the sulfur cosmos, which I've mentioned before. That's that. I do have the hot wire on, so that's that. And it has these long stems. They're so pretty. Here is the meadow as it stands today. It's not too striking from a distance, but it's got some really pretty brown-eyed Susan in here. Well, it's a kind of Coreopsis, I guess. The yarrow is starting to fade in color, kind of turn a beigey gray color. So I've already harvested some for drying and pulverizing into powder. Here's a look from the lower yard looking up towards the raised bed, terrace garden, and orchard. This is all wrapped in deer netting now, which is such a relief. This is the log of a downed pine tree from last February 24. And above that I planted 10 lavender plants. I think it's phenomenal. And I think that's what I planted. Yeah, we weeded this and put down 1 strip of paper, and we just haven't gotten back to put in the other side. I wanted to put in a whole load of wood chips to kind of level it, but that just hasn't happened. Here's the flower garden jungle with zinnias, Mexican sunflower, that's the tall plant right there, and then there's smaller ones to the sides, each side. And then there are several tomato plants up there. And this whole side right here is, I think it's sulfur cosmos. Or let's see, is that what it was? It's either sulfur cosmos or it's African marigold. I'm confused now because I had so much African marigold growing in here. And then there's a ditch around this, although it looks like it needs to be where'd it go? Where's it go? It goes to here, I guess, and diverts. So no major runoff. And now we have, here we just have the fishing line, and that seems to be deterring the deer. Okay, here are the potatoes, the main crop of potatoes. I was going to take the fabric off and use it on the cabbages, but Randy suggested just leaving it on until they die back and we harvest, so that's what I'm going to do. It's a gorgeous, just one zinnia in there, just super gorgeous. I wonder if you can see through this. And then up there we finally got this whole terrace weeded, tilled and weeded, and hay put down, so hopefully that'll be the last time this season. I've been meaning to harvest blueberries for the last 3 days. I do have some ripe in there, I just haven't gotten to it. But look over there at those daylilies. I try to post inspirational pictures of flowers, whatever is showing off in the garden on my posts page every morning, so I hope you're checking my posts page. Lots of things growing in here, a lot of weeds too, but brassicas, so strawberries, potatoes, onions, herbs. All that cilantro has gone to flower over there, and it's just gorgeous and it smells wonderful. I'm just going to get the seeds at this point. I got all my geraniums up potted a little bit, so hopefully they'll be happy. I was hoping these pots were going to be more of a charcoal gray. Don't love the gray, I really don't, but you know, sending things back is a pain, so I went ahead and potted my 5 geraniums given to me by Jamie into this, and hopefully this will be their forever home. If you recall, Ivy Organic had a fig cutting giveaway. They always do in January, February. And I had a bunch of them and none of them sprouted, and I thought, okay, what did I do wrong? But finally I happened to notice that these 2 sprouted, so we'll see how they develop. Here is the driveway garden. You've been seeing the flowers that I've been posting, but yeah, I actually haven't seen it in a while. The path still needs to be, I put mulch down without weed cloth, and that's such a mistake. But this is the big development today. I wanted some steps up to the now upper level. Never had an upper level, and now we have an upper level. So Randy put in these 5 steps today, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. And it's just the right kind of step. You just feel like you're walking gently upwards. So you haven't seen it from this view. These are tuberosa roses, I think. A woman gave me these in the, she practically gave them to me. I think I paid $2 for all of those bulbs. And I thought that would be a nice corner edging for this garden. This is my orange tie that overwintered in my garage. This is my cranberry hibiscus left over from last year. A piece of it anyway. I restarted it, you know. I propagated it. And this I actually got, this is a brown-eyed Susan I got from Lowe's, and it was in a pot on the table. But it is a perennial, so I said, let's get it in the garden. Now today, we got this pomegranate tree. This is from Ivy Organic, and this is Harfienka pomegranate. It's voted the best tasting. So that got put in today, and I'm pretty excited about it. All the flowers from the valerian, that was the prettiest thing I had here, and I clipped them and they're all inside. I'm going to see if they have a flavor when I make tea. And over here, I got the last 3 boysenberry bushes from Ivy Organic and got them in the ground. Got them yesterday, got them in the ground today in the upper garden. And then these 4 are butterfly bush from bluestone perennials. Okay, Asclepias tuberosa. And I had seen a video about this. Okay, so here's this fantastic rock. I would love your opinion. This was unearthed. It's got some jagged edges, very heavy, but this point at the top has been broken off, otherwise it would just be ideal. I want to use it for the back on a seat or something. Let me know what you think. This is lemon sorrel. This is a perennial that's going crazy. All of this periwinkle is coming out. Looking forward to that. And these rocks are going to be moved. This is lemon sorrel, but now it's blooming, and I need to cut that. We don't need it blooming. The hollyhock is fantastic. I cannot wait until this whole stem blooms. Look, it's got all these blooms on the stem going up. Wow. Wow. Right now we just have the fishing line with little garden stakes around this to discourage the deer from coming in here. Let these plants get a chance to get acclimated. But he cut some cedar from the forest today, and I am going to have a cedar fence, 2 horizontal rows with cedar poles going around here. In fact, I think he's going to have to cut more wood. But that is the plan, my friends. So right here, I'm still not sure what this is going to be. The biblical herb garden has not found a home yet, and I wanted to have a little something here with a little seat. Just not sure. I'm going to look on Facebook Marketplace and see what I can find. This is giant ironweed. These are the only 2 plants I have after all of that last year. I had all those seeds. Did not get them planted. Okay. So this is my new table and chairs that we went in last weekend to pick up, that I saw on Facebook Marketplace, and I just love it. I don't know where it's going to wind up. I don't even want it to be in the rain, but it is. It would be better to have it on the back deck back there, but the deck is not as, you know, it's old and rickety, and so we'll see. But that's where things stand right now. My hair's falling down. This is what I do with my hair after I wash it. I twist it up and then pin it up so that it dries, not all tangled and frizzy. I hope you enjoyed this trip around the garden. And this is finishing the 2nd week in June. And I will have an update every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, so I hope you'll be there for a live chat where you can interact with other late bloomer fans. And welcome to all my new subscribers. And I hope you enjoy my content, and let me know in a comment below what you'd like to see more of on my channel. Thank you so much. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.